So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's video. We're back looking at eFootball. Not that I've played it recently, folks. I've done absolutely nothing over the last week. Don't even ask. No, I've tried playing FIFA again. I can't do it. So I'll be honest with you. I don't know what's going to happen regarding that. And, you know, eFootball's eFootball. But I'm still going to cover it because there is some updates coming out. So, also, before we do dive into this, I bought Football Manager on the console, so I very well may do a PS5 playthrough with Football Manager. Unfortunately, there's no licenses like in the Premier League, apart from, I think, Man City and Brighton. But, I mean, apart from the badges and the logos, it's actually a decent game. So I might do a series regarding that and make it very authentic, very realistic. But I've got to do something. I don't want to play FIFA, and eFootball's boring me. So I need to do something, right? But anyway, let's talk about version 2.5 because Konami have come out, unlike themselves actually, that they actually put this out now because normally they don't do this until the day of. So they've given us a little bit of an update of what's going to be happening when this version releases in April, which is, you guessed it, next month. So I did hold on doing this video because there was one perk that we're going to talk about that was coming out that really could have ruined everything, if I'm being honest with you. It would have been completely pay to win, and I'm not having that. But luckily, they have tweaked it, so we'll talk about it. So the first few things, right, some new features that will be introduced in 2.5. There's going to be additional player slots. So instead of having 500 players, you can now have up to 900. I mean, 900 players. It's madness, but you can have that in your dream team. I would still like a better way to filter and manually go through because if you pick like players in the game plan, it literally picks every single player that is in your 10 slots of game plans instead of just picking the one that you've selected, you know, things like that we could still get addressed. New feature for users to add player skills to existing players. Now this is an interesting one, certainly one that I will give a bash when I get to playing it. But basically, there is 5 additional slots will be added to all players in my team. Each player will be able to possess a maximum of 15, all right, 15 of them, player skills. For these additional skill slots, users can use the newly introduced skill training programs to add new skills or player skills at random. I mean, it's a little bit wordy, but once we go in there and play around with it, we'll figure it out ourselves. But look, there are certain players in the game that do need, I think, certain player skills. And unless Konami go in there and update them all the time, you can't customize it to your liking. So this is a nice addition. Someone like Garnacho, for me, I'd whack him as a super sub. I think Garnacho, when he comes on, is a far more influential player than when he starts a game. So there's certain players like that you can tweak. Next, we've got additional items for player contract renewal and ways to obtain them. So going forward from 2.5, when releasing 5-star PV players of the following player types, users will be able to get contract renewal. 10 days on top of GP and training items. I mean, we're getting there, aren't we? A lot of players are going to need to be renewed now if you've had them for a year. And there is the following items: epic, legendary, trending, highlight, and featured. And then, yeah, what other stuff here? Furthermore, contract renewal 10 days will also be made available in Match Pass as other rewards. Now, there's a new feature coming, folks. It's called Legacy Transfer for users to transfer experience points and additional skills from one player to another. The way this works is you select a player you wish to have your experience points and additional skills transferred from, then select Legacy Transfer and choose a player that fulfills the required conditions to inherit those points and skills. What exactly is that going to entail? Once again, we don't know, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be a limit. You're not going to be able to transfer all the player skills from someone like, I don't know, Mbappe over to someone like Palestri, right? It wouldn't make any sense. So there's going to have to be some sort of a balance there to fine-tune that one. Legacy Transfer requires GP. So there we go. GP will finally be used for something other than just sitting in your bank account. The exact amount of GP corresponds to the player whose experience points and additional skills are transferred from. So obviously, the higher the player, the more GP it's going to cost. Once the process is complete, the player used for legacy transfer will be erased. That's right, folks. He's gone. Sling it. And then once the experience points of the inheriting player has been maximized, the excess amount of experience points will not be transferred over. So you got to take note to that. So that's pretty much everything coming. I mean, for myself, I do like the addition of player skills. I mean, having more than 500 players is great, but I mean, core blimey, how large is your team going to be? Now, the other point that we're going to go across real quickly is the Fortifier perk. So stay with me, bear with me. I'll be right back. All right, so the Fortifier, or the Fortress. What did I say, Fortifier? Is it a Fortifier? No, it's Fortress. So they had a bit of a boo-boo, folks. That's right, because initially this was what was going to happen. These are the Fortress players. So you've got the likes of Silva, Militao, and Virgil van Dijk. And you've got to remember, they only get 3 players out of 150, okay? So if you're not getting a lot of coins, you don't have a lot of coins, the chances of you getting these players is extremely slim. My worrying, concerning factor, which they've obviously now fixed, was this right here. Initially, this was the description, right, the other day. Increases the defensive abilities of the whole team after the second half mark, as long as the team has a goal advantage. So as long as you're leading, they basically were saying your whole team is going to get a defensive boost. Now they fixed it, right? But if they had left this like this, I would have been like, this is horrendous. This is going to be pay to win now. It's basically where this game is going. I'm fine with adding these little RPG elements that enhance his abilities, but not for the whole team. Because as I said, the chance of you getting these players is extremely slim if you're free to play. And then if you're going to come up against someone who has a Fortress player and they're leading and their whole team now has a perk of being better defensively, you're going to be all over the place. But they did change it, right? So the updated description is improves player defensive abilities after the second half mark, as long as the team has a goal advantage. So they've taken out the whole team, and they've just said a player's defensive abilities. Much better. I'm fine with that. We've already had the phenomenal finishing, which, you know, that's for individual players. So you're fine with having these individual players, Konami, but don't start with the whole team boosting, because that is going to wind everyone up, especially, you know, the free-to-play players, because we're not going to have it. We're not having it. We're not having it. And also, comparing this to Super Sub, Super Sub improves players' abilities when introduced after the second half. And then, as we just saw, Fortress is just the defensive. So Super Sub is all your abilities of the player. It's not just the defensive. So Super Sub is still going to outdo Fortress, but Fortress is obviously limited to just a select few players. So the chance of you getting one is quite slim. But anyway, I just wanted to cover that. I was very, very concerned that Konami were going through that pay-to-win nonsense even more now. You know what I mean? Come on, Konami. But luckily, whether they listen to us, I don't know, because there are a lot of people probably not happy with it. But they've changed it now to just, you know, single. So there we have it. Anyway, that is all for today, folks. Very short, very sweet. I just wanted to get that out, talking about the new update that's coming out. But like I said, folks, I haven't been playing anything. If there was Master League to play, the content would be flowing. I don't want to play old games. I'm sick and tired of FIFA. I've tried playing FIFA again, and honestly, the gameplay is absolutely shocking. I just can't. I can't do it. You could pay me, and I ain't going to play it. But that's for another day. But we'll be back when we're back. And yeah, I really think a Football Manager playthrough is something that I could just sit down and make it very realistic back with me commentating. I can show you the highlights of the other matches. And I'm actually quite enjoying the console version. It's more simple, obviously, than the PC full-fledged. The licensing is a little bit annoying, but, you know, it's just badges and logos. The players are still there. But yeah, we'll see. But anyway, let me know your thoughts below. What do you make of this? Are you looking forward to it? Let me know. Until next time, take care.